I still think about that Wednesday night more than I'd like to admit. Because if I had made one different choice, if I had ignored the feeling in my stomach for just a few more seconds, I don't think I'd be here telling this story at all. I matched with her on a dating app in early spring. Her name was Lena. Nothing about her profile stood out, and that's actually why I liked it. No heavy filters, no party pictures, no captions trying too hard to be funny. Just a normal-looking woman with brown hair, a soft smile, and a bio that said she worked in digital marketing and liked quiet hikes and old movies. We talked for almost 10 days. The conversations were slow, comfortable, and surprisingly normal. She didn't flirt aggressively, she didn't rush anything, she didn't ask for photos or push the conversation late at night. It felt safe. Eventually, she suggested we meet for dinner, a small restaurant in a quieter part of town. Wednesday night, nothing fancy. I agreed. When I pulled into the parking lot, the place was already dimly lit. The restaurant sat on the corner of a mostly empty street, the kind of area that looked peaceful during the day, but strangely hollow at night. I texted her, "Just parked." No reply. I didn't think much of it at first. People get distracted, phones die, life happens. I walked inside and stood near the entrance, scrolling through my phone, pretending not to look awkward. 5 minutes passed, then 10. I texted again, "I'm inside by the front." Still nothing. At 15 minutes, I started to feel that familiar sting of embarrassment. The hostess glanced at me more than once. I could already imagine how it looked, another guy getting stood up. She eventually asked if I wanted to be seated. I told her I was waiting for someone. She checked the list and shook her head. No one by that name has checked in. That's when my chest tightened just a little. That was the first moment something felt off, but I ignored it, and I almost paid for that decision. At around the 25-minute mark, I was about to leave. That's when someone approached me. Not a server, not another guest. A man. He looked out of place in the restaurant. Mid-40s, maybe? Slightly overweight, dark hoodie pulled low over his head. His beard was uneven, like he hadn't bothered shaving properly in weeks. He walked straight up to me. "Are you Alex?" he asked. My heart skipped. I hadn't told Lena my last name, and I definitely hadn't told anyone else I was here. "Yeah," I said cautiously. "Why?" He smiled, not warmly, not coldly, just neutral. "I'm Lena's cousin. She's not feeling well, but she didn't want to cancel." My brain immediately started racing. Why hadn't she texted me this herself? He continued, "She asked me to come get you. She lives close by." I didn't answer right away. He spoke calmly, like this was all perfectly normal, like men regularly picked up strangers for first dates on behalf of sick relatives. I asked where she lived. He said, "Just a few blocks. Driving would be easier. Sidewalks are icy." I glanced outside. The sidewalks were completely clear. Every detail made sense on its own, but together, something didn't add up. I told him I was fine walking. He shook his head slightly. "She really wanted me to bring you." I asked again why Lena hadn't messaged me. He said her phone had died. That answer sat wrong with me, because my phone was still open. No missed messages, no calls. I told him maybe we should reschedule. That's when he stepped just a little closer, not aggressively, not threatening, just enough to close the distance. "She'll be disappointed," he said quietly. My pulse spiked. I looked him directly in the eyes and said, "Move." For a moment, he didn't. Then he stepped aside. "Have a good night," he said. But the way he said it didn't sound polite. It sounded final. I thought that was the end of it. I was very wrong. I left the restaurant quickly and got into my car. I locked the doors without even thinking about it. As I pulled out of the parking lot, I saw him standing near the entrance, watching me. Not waving, not walking away, just standing there. Later that night, my phone buzzed. It was Lena. "Why didn't you come?" My stomach dropped. I explained everything. There was a pause. Then she replied, "I don't have a cousin." I stared at the screen. Before I could respond, her profile disappeared, deleted. Around 1 a.m., I got notifications that someone was trying to log into my email, then my bank app, then my social media, one after another. I changed everything. The next morning, I got a text from an unknown number. "You should have trusted me." I blocked it. More numbers followed, different area codes, same tone. That night, someone knocked on my apartment door twice. When I checked the peephole, the hallway was empty. The next day, the restaurant confirmed something chilling. A man in a hoodie had been pacing outside for nearly an hour before I even arrived. A week later, I found a photo under my car windshield. It was me, standing inside the restaurant, taken from outside. I deleted every dating app that same night because I'm convinced of one thing. I wasn't supposed to leave that restaurant alone. If this story made you uneasy, subscribe now and turn on notifications because the next story proves this wasn't an isolated incident. If I hadn't looked at my phone one last time before stepping out of my car, this story wouldn't be about a close call. It would be about a disappearance. I downloaded the dating app on a Sunday night out of boredom. No big expectations, no deep intentions, just scrolling. That's when I matched with Kayla. Her profile felt real in a way most didn't. A few casual selfies, one blurry group photo, one picture of her holding a coffee outside what looked like a local cafe. Her bio was short and slightly awkward, the kind of thing a real person writes, not a bot. We talked for a few days. Nothing intense, nothing sexual, just normal conversation. On Thursday night, she asked if I wanted to meet the next evening. She suggested a late-night diner just off the highway, open 24 hours, public, safe. I agreed. Friday night came. I drove there around 10:30 p.m. The diner sat alone near the road, its neon sign buzzing faintly. The parking lot was nearly empty, which felt strange for a Friday night, but not impossible. I parked near the front and texted her, "I'm here." A minute passed. Then my phone buzzed. "I'm here too. Car trouble. I parked behind the building." I frowned. Behind the diner was nothing but a service road, dumpsters, and a tree line that led straight into the woods. I texted back, "This feels weird. I'm going to leave." I wish I hadn't sent that, because the moment I put my car in reverse, something moved. I wasn't alone in that parking lot. Two figures stepped out from behind the building. At first, I thought they were employees taking out trash. Then they started running straight toward my car. They were wearing dark clothes, their faces covered. One of them raised his arm like he was holding something, though I couldn't tell what. I slammed my foot on the gas. As I sped toward the exit, something slammed into the back of my car with a violent bang. The impact made the whole vehicle shake. I didn't stop driving until I was several miles away. My hands were trembling so badly I could barely keep them on the steering wheel. When I finally got home, I noticed a large dent in my trunk, like something heavy had been thrown at it. A rock, a brick, something meant to stop me. I called the police and told them everything. They came, took a report, and checked the diner's security cameras. What they found made my blood run cold. Those men had been waiting long before I arrived. The footage showed two masked figures lingering behind the diner for nearly 40 minutes before I ever pulled into the lot. No car, no woman. Kayla never existed. Her profile was deleted by morning. The police said there wasn't much they could do. No clear faces, no plates, no weapons confirmed. I asked one officer what he thought would have happened if I'd gone behind the building. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, "You probably wouldn't have made it back to your car." I deleted the app that same night. But the worst part? A week later, I drove past that diner again during the day. Behind the building, partially hidden in the grass, was a cracked cinder block, right where my car had been hit. If you're still watching, make sure you're subscribed, because the final story proves that sometimes the danger doesn't wait outside. Sometimes you invite it in without realizing it. I didn't meet him in a parking lot. I didn't see him standing outside my window at first, and I didn't feel afraid in the beginning. That's what makes this story worse than the others. I met him during one of the most exhausting years of my life. I was living in a small apartment with roommates, juggling long work days, constant stress, and the feeling that my life was stuck on pause. Dating wasn't even a priority. It was just something to distract myself when the nights felt too quiet. That's when I matched with Evan. His profile was minimal. One clear photo, one casual photo, nothing flashy. His bio was short and self-aware. He seemed grounded, polite, and safe. We started talking casually, then every day, then every night. Before I realized it, he had become part of my routine. He was a great conversationalist. He listened. He remembered details. He knew how to respond in a way that made me feel seen. When I talked about my stress, he didn't rush to fix it. He just stayed there with me. We talked on the phone often, hours sometimes, but he never turned his camera on. He said his phone camera was broken. He said his laptop didn't have one. It sounded strange, but not impossible, and honestly, I didn't want to be the person who accused someone of lying without proof. Still, something felt off. The first red flag didn't scare me. The second one did. The third one changed everything. He slowly started pushing boundaries, not aggressively, not at first, just small comments, hints, requests that came wrapped in compliments. When I shut them down, his tone would shift. He'd go quiet, cold, then later apologetic. He'd promise to respect my boundaries, and then ask again. It became a cycle. What bothered me more was how resistant he was to meeting in person. Every time I suggested it, he had a reason. Too busy, out of town, not feeling well, soon. Always soon, never now. My friends noticed before I admitted it to myself. They asked why he never showed his face, why he never made time, why he kept asking for things he knew I wasn't comfortable giving. I defended him. I shouldn't have. I trusted the version of him that only existed in my head. A few months in, something changed. I invited him to finally meet. I told him it mattered to me. For the first time, he didn't hesitate. He said yes immediately. I felt relief and dread. The night before we were supposed to meet, he called me. His voice sounded wrong, shaky, uneven. Then he said it. None of his photos were real. The name was fake, the job was fake. Everything I thought I knew about him collapsed in seconds. He sent me a photo of his real face. I felt physically sick. When I told him I couldn't do this anymore, his personality flipped. He blamed me, then apologized, then begged. He told me I was cruel for judging him. Then came the guilt, then the anger, then the pleading. I blocked him, or at least I thought I did. I thought the story ended there. It didn't. Almost a year passed. Life felt normal again. One night, I posted a simple photo online, a harmless update. Minutes later, I got a message request from him. I didn't open it. Then another came, and another. Finally, curiosity got the better of me. When I opened a chat, my heart dropped. The last message wasn't text, it was a photo of my house, taken from across the street. My parents weren't home. I locked every door. Then I heard knocking, loud, desperate. He was calling my name. I hid and called the police. They arrived fast, too fast, because he was still there. They arrested him in the front yard. The officer later told me something I still think about. He said, "It's a good thing you didn't open the door, because when they searched him, they found a knife." If you're still here, subscribe and turn on notifications. These stories are real warnings, and sometimes trusting your gut is the only reason you make it home.